Apple's iPhone Fold is already starting to look like nothing Apple has ever done before. Samsung's Galaxy Z Flip8 is already hinting to be a powerhouse, but it's not what you think. OnePlus is reportedly going turbo mode, though that depends on which variant you consider. Samsung's plans for its Galaxy S26 series do sound a bit controversial, but it might be good. And yes, the iPhone 18 might be the platform to completely redo 10 years of iPhone. I'm Jaime Rivera, and listen, I know, it's a mess behind me. I've been moving, so that's the reason why getting this video to you took a bit longer than I'd like. Let's go through these 5 interesting topics. This is TechBriefing powered by MediaTek. Let's begin today with Samsung, as for any of you thinking that waiting for the Z Flip8 is the best thing to do, well, that depends on why you're waiting. Obviously, the Z Flip7 going Exynos was a bit controversial. It's performed well for me, but I do understand it led to concerns, and we even wonder if that's why the Fold sold more. The thing is, 2026 might be the year where the company doubles down on that approach, actually. New reports suggest that Samsung is planning to center its Exynos chips on the Galaxy Z Flip lineup, and yeah, you heard that right. According to a report from The Bell, Samsung is planning to make the Flip series exclusively Exynos powered again, though this year in particular, that might not be a bad idea. See, even if this move would sideline Qualcomm, well, the Exynos 2600, which is now official, is based on the company's 2nm architecture, which has been sounding far better than expected for weeks. And yeah, I did hear the rumors that the Galaxy S26 models might include it in certain regions. But yeah, the Exynos 2600 does sound like quite the beast, claiming up to 29% better GPU performance than Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, along with stronger NPU performance than both Snapdragon and Apple's A19, pointing to faster on-device AI. Despite mixed reactions to past Exynos chips, I mean, reviews were positive on the 2500, and so was mine. I genuinely had zero issues with it. So yeah, imagine the rumors of a slimmer design and the powerful chip on board. This might actually be a pretty good deal, especially if they could drop the price, but I'm curious to know if this is a deal breaker for you in the comments. And since we already started talking about the Galaxy S series, let's dive in a little deeper into the topic. The Galaxy S26 Ultra now appeared on China's 3C certification site, confirming several long-rumored features ahead of its expected launch in a couple of months. The listing for model SM9480 reveals satellite connectivity on the Chinese variant, which, yes, is making a comeback, but more notably, the certification confirms support for up to 60-watt wired fast charging, backing up months of leaks and hints from Samsung itself. However, the problem, as we had already discussed before, is that the filing also lists a 5000 mAh battery, effectively ruling out hopes for a larger power pack in this generation, and it's been a while. But anyways, additional certifications have filled in more details. An FCC listing in the United States confirms that the Galaxy S26 Ultra will use the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 globally, while the smaller Galaxy S26 and S26 Plus may rely on the Exynos 2600 in certain markets. The Ultra is also expected to receive a design refresh, adopting rounded corners and a unified camera island shared across the Galaxy S26 lineup. If you remember, this lines up with leaked images of a more rounded off S Pen silo, which looks kinda good. And listen, yes, I know there is concern about these design changes making the flagship look more like the A series. I'm curious to know how much these design updates matter to you in the comments, because I really want better specs, but that's just me. Now, OnePlus seems to be on an interesting change of pace this year, and notice I haven't even begun talking about 2026. I mean, we got the OnePlus 15 and then the OnePlus 15R, which was really interesting. Let me know if you want a review on that one too. Thing is, right after the launch, we already started hearing rumors about a turbo series. I mean, the 15 and 15R are no slouches, but the company claims they will prioritize top-tier performance, battery life, and gaming, which, I mean, that's not going to be a turbo series exclusive. It's the same priority for the 15 series and pretty much every other OnePlus device since I can remember. And well, a new leak offers early insights into what it might look like. Two Geekbench listings for an unreleased OnePlus device with a model number PLU110 are believed to belong to the lower tier OnePlus Turbo model, rocking the Snapdragon 8S Gen 4 chipset paired with 16 gigs of RAM. And yeah, I know this does not sound better than anything we already have, but reports have it that 2 phones are coming. According to Smart Pikachu, a higher-end performance variant could use the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, so it seems this phone is out to compete with the other OnePlus phones that have launched. Anyways, the OnePlus Turbo series is rumored to launch next month, likely in China first, and could offer a 165Hz OLED display, but then here's the kicker. We hear of an insane 9,000 mAh battery, which would be the largest on a OnePlus smartphone and pretty much any modern, good-looking flagship. Let me know what you think about this possible update in specs in the comments. Now let's switch to Apple, as the company's plans for 2026 are so interesting that I'm just going to have to split them into 2 segments. So let's begin with the regular phones. As we heard of recently, Apple is planning to start the year with the iPhone 17e, and some internal code already suggests that we might be getting the updated C1X modem on it, though in an interesting twist, no N1 wireless chip. This detail surfaced from a macOS kernel debug kit that was briefly released and then pulled. If the iPhone 17e does omit the N1 chip, it may lack thread support, even though it would still use an Apple-designed baseband. For the iPhone 18 Pro lineup, the code shows Apple has still been deciding whether to go with the C1X or the newer C2 modem at the time, though the Pro models are expected to retain the N1 chip. Since this information comes from internal code, final hardware decisions could still change ahead of the launch. But alright, as for the cool part, more reports now indicate that the iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max will introduce an under-display Face ID module, removing the pill-shaped dynamic island and relocating the front camera to the top left corner, while keeping an overall design similar to the iPhone 17 Pro. Apple is also expected to add a variable aperture main camera, giving users more control over depth of field, though the real-world impact may be limited by sensor size. Powering the devices will likely be an A20 Pro chip built on TSMC's 2nm process, using advanced water-level packaging that integrates RAM directly onto the chip. This could improve performance, battery life, and thermals while freeing up internal space. I'm curious to know if you like the idea of this new Face ID in the comments, because I do. Now, before we get to the hottest news, let me tell you about today's sponsor, MediaTek. Yes, the company powers most smart TVs in the market today, but what if your current TV is already aging and getting sluggish and you're not ready to upgrade just yet? Well, meet the Google TV Streamer 4K. Powered by MediaTek's 8696 processor, it allows you to pretty much turn any TV or monitor into the fastest smart TV money can buy. It gives you full access to Google TV and more than enough RAM for you to jump between applications without these having to reload all the time. It lets you control your smart home with ease and even pair your Pixel Buds for whenever you want more immersive watching. It's yet another example of how MediaTek powers some of the smartest experiences in the world today. Thanks to MediaTek for sponsoring this video. And finally, for the most interesting news today, grab some popcorn because we gotta talk about Apple's new kid in town. Believe it or not, the iPhone Fold has appeared in its first CAD-based render, and well, let's just say it looks like nothing we've ever seen before. I mean, let's start with the dimensions, which are unusual to say the least, though since this is coming from case makers, they do have some credibility. So Apple reportedly avoided a square inner display, opting instead for a landscape first folding screen. When unfolded, the phone naturally sits in landscape mode, which would allow iPad applications to run natively without modification, ensuring better software compatibility from day one. Though yeah, the closest to a landscape iPad is the Mini, as the rest are kind of squarish at 4x3. According to the leak, the inner display measures 7.76 inches with a 2713 by 1920 resolution, while the outer cover screen is 5.49 inches and the 1422 by 2088 resolution, resulting in a very unconventional aspect ratio. I mean, at first I thought this phone would be smaller, but really what it is mostly just wider. Even the measurements on the leaks are pretty interesting, but wait, there's more. The inner display includes an under-screen selfie camera, while the cover screen uses a hole punch design. On the back, I mean, the 2 cameras sit in an oval-shaped bar similar to the iPhone Air, or dare I say, the first Pixel Fold? While it could be announced as early as September, multiple rumors suggest the commercial launch may slip to early 2027, and yeah, the design just looks interesting. But anyways, in today's question, let me know. What do you think about this possible iPhone Fold and how it looks? Because in my case, I will admit, I wasn't really a fan of the shorter design of the first Pixel Fold, so I am curious as to why Apple is doing this. Bear in mind, though, the reason I didn't like the first Pixel Fold was because of how Android would not really conform to the landscape the way it does now. But anyways, that's just me. I'm curious to know what you think about this in the comments. Friends, thank you so much for joining on another episode of Tech Briefing. Please like, subscribe, and join the conversation in the comments, as I am trying to respond to as many as I can, though with the move, it's been really hard right now. Also, follow me on social media as more behind-the-scenes work continues to happen there. By the way, episode 2 of our Technically There podcast is live with Josh. Episode 3 has been delayed. I apologize. Working on that to get you that very soon. I'm Jaime Rivera. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.